Let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten that sense that there's something out there that's trying to ruin your life? Like there's this invisible force trying to make sure that nothing is going your way. That's how I was feeling after trying to do so much and getting nothing for my efforts. And I wasn't asking for much either. I wanted a second part-time job to go along with the one I already had. I wanted a girlfriend, felt like I should have had one by now. And I wanted to travel outside of New Zealand simply because I'd never done it before. So then, why was it that despite everything, I was feeling a little empty-handed here? And I wasn't silent about it either. I was telling people about the things I was trying to do, but nobody could help me. It was actually kind of a unique situation I was in. As the months went on, my anxiety was slowly beginning to build up. It was creeping up on me that nothing I was doing was working. But I didn't know what to do about it, so I continued doing all of those things. I continued with the dating sites. I continued making videos for the Bridgeway. I even continued handing out my CV to places where I'd like to work. Multiple times, I might add. But none of the places I handed my CV out to responded to me. I seriously didn't know what to do. I was up against this wall I didn't know how to climb. What was I doing wrong? Had my luck just simply run out? Seriously? Well then, by chance, one of the answers actually did come to me. There's a place I go to on a monthly basis called the Autism Center. I attended for a group meetup involving autistic people. It's just good hanging out with people who are like myself. Anyway, I went there one day, and it just so happened that a friend of mine who used to work there was visiting. Let's call her Leia from Star Wars. I told her what was going on, and at some point I brought up the dating sites. And she told me something I should have known from the very beginning. Dating sites are not good for autistic people. You know what? That makes total sense. Especially with how fruitless my endeavors on these sites had been. There actually had been the occasion where I'd gotten a response from somebody, or at least some sort of interaction from somebody on one of these sites, but it never went anywhere. That's kind of like what 2015 was like for me. Lots of setup, but no payoff. And in case you're wondering, I did try using Tinder. Not gonna say anything more on that. As time went on, I eventually just drifted off from the dating sites in the hopes of finding a girlfriend naturally. It didn't happen. I had women who I met on a regular basis, but they all had boyfriends. And even if I did meet somebody who I'd like to hang out with and see where things go, I never got to spend enough time with them to see if things built up. And I wasn't entirely sure what it was I was doing wrong. Was I doing something wrong, or was this whole thing just sheer, raw, bad luck? I wasn't getting anywhere with my new hobby either. At first, Magic the Gathering seemed pretty cool and seemed like something I should be into. But eventually, I had to stop playing when I realized I just wasn't really that good at it. My deck builds were a bit of a mess, and as such I lost most of my games. Plus, it was also costing me having to buy booster packs and making trips to the hobby shops. So I eventually just drifted off from that as well when I realized I wasn't having that much fun, and it was becoming kind of stressful. As for the videos I was making for the Bridgeway, they still weren't going anywhere. They were still the same as how I mentioned them before. I made them, I sent them to the Bridgeway, they got uploaded to the Bridgeway's YouTube channel, but nobody was watching them. Even with my dad sharing them, it's not like the people who were watching them were Bridgeway regulars. So it's not like the videos were important in some sort of way, they were just sort of there. Then, as time was going on, I found myself putting less and less effort into this week at the Bridgeway. Making this web series had become so easy that each episode only took me about 30 minutes to make. 30 minutes, but it was feeling like a chore. And this was something I usually enjoyed doing, video editing. But this was really taking the fun out of it. And yet, I still persisted and I still tried to endure it. I mean, come on, it had to get better at some point, right? Right? But then, it happened. The events that told me that 2015 hated me. I took my entire family to see The Force Awakens, the new Star Wars movie at the time. I chose the Bridgeway because of the benefits. I could take a +1 with me, and it just so happened I had a coupon for a discount. So we actually managed to get in at a very low price. To quote what everybody else was saying at the time, The Force Awakens was some of the most fun I had ever had watching a movie. It was action-packed, it was funny, it was energized, and I just remember everyone in the theater was having a good time watching it. But then, the machine playing the movie died during the last third. All of us had to get our money back and go home. Then, when I got home, I started watching some video reviews for The Force Awakens, and one of them spoiled a certain death scene for me. Yeah, imagine that. Realizing that you've been having a really bad year, then here comes along what is probably the perfect piece of escapism for you, and it gets ruined by sheer raw bad luck. Eventually, I did go see the movie a second time, and this time I saw the whole thing. But I still couldn't help but feel that the experience had been dampened by that spoiler I'd gotten. And then, it had just become blatantly obvious that my luck had completely run out. By the time 2016 rolled around, it all finally came crashing down on me. I had accomplished none of the goals I'd set for myself, even though I was actively trying to accomplish them. I still didn't have a girlfriend. I still didn't have a second job. My videos weren't doing anything. My new hobby wasn't taking me anywhere. I still hadn't even gone to a new school yet.